Hey there, mamas. It is Come As You Are on Fun Rich Mom. I am Mitch Blackford. And if you've been around with me for a while, you know that these are some of my favorite episodes because we just get to hang out with a really cool mom and find out about what's going on in her world and how her day goes down. And this one, I'm telling you, you're going to finally have some questions answered. If you've ever wondered, like, people who have lots of kids, how do they do it? Well, my friend Tiffani Jenkins has seven kids. That's two hands of kids. And I'm telling you, when we go through her day, she just handles it like a pro. And she's going to share how she just manages life and comes from a place of joy and love. And she doesn't allow stress to occur. It's pretty cool, actually. And I don't doubt it because I've known this girl for years. And in fact, we used to do events together. And she was so sweet. There was an event where I was pregnant with Ezra, my second. I was 8.5 months pregnant. I was already effaced, dilated, kind of on the process of getting ready to have a baby, but I had to fly to Vegas to run this event. And usually at these events, you got to do a lot of walking. So first of all, my doctor's like, I would prefer that you don't go, but we already know you're going. So don't walk, don't move a lot, because that's going to cause things to happen that you don't want to happen away from home. So when I got there, they put me in a wheelchair. I had a whole crew. They decorated this wheelchair. It was so cute. I had a little flag. It had lights. It was awesome. And Tiffani literally pushed me around this whole event. And it always felt weird because it's like, I can walk. But, we didn't want to pop at the same time. And she was just like the best right-hand person you could ever have during that time. So with that, I am excited for you to get to know about her. So let's get started. So Tiffani, how are you today?
I'm better than outstanding. Thank you for asking. How are you, Mitch?
Oh, shooky. I like that answer. I might just steal it from you for right now. I'm better than outstanding. You know why? Because I'm talking to you.
Well, I always say I didn't come up with that wording, so feel free to use it. And I also always say I try to live life better than what it was yesterday. And yesterday was pretty awesome. So today is better than outstanding.
I like that. See, that's a great frame of reference to live out of.
Yeah.
Because you're always, you just put your brain focusing for, let's have fun. Let's make a better day. And if there's an issue, no worries. We'll get through it anyway. It just makes us stronger, sharper, better, faster, leaner, meaner. All the things, right?
All the things. It makes you appreciate what you have a lot more and live and love life better.
Yes. Well, and definitely in your position, mom of 7. Yes?
7 for now. Yes, we have 7.
Are there plans for more?
So there are plans for more. We honestly believe we would already be pregnant, but we have a trip planned for Jamaica in January. So we're like, Mama wants to enjoy all the things that Jamaica has to offer. So we've already just after Jamaica. We already said to be honest, I want 15, but that's for another story. But so right now, we already know we want 8. So we're just holding off until we get the next vacation out of the way.
So I have like 10 questions that just popped up as you're talking. First of all, right? Like, okay, I would imagine your pregnancies are pretty good.
Yes.
To want to go through them multiple times.
So majority of them have been at a birthing center or home at my house. The very last one, there was just a slight pivot where God had other plans. So we had to transition to the hospital. But that was just because my body wasn't progressing and my water had been broken past 36 hours. So because my water had been broken for so long and I was kind of like stuck at like a 7 centimeters for more than I'd say 5 hours, I just wasn't moving. I had to go get Pitocin. But once the Pitocin started, whoa, that was different from what my body was used to. But
it's fast.
And I've never had an epidural or anything like that. Like I said, most of them have done at a birthing center or at my house. So the goal for this one, goal for number 8 is another home birth.
Okay. And so, do you have a midwife with you or a doula, or is this
Do
like
I
completely
so
just
I
you and
have so I'm number 6 out of 8 children, and my mama is
ah?
all about the home births and stuff like that. Like majority of my nieces and nephews were born at my mother's house. So we're just
Oh,
all
wow.
about like I have a wonderful birth team. Like I have people that are like always in the room with me. Crazy
Oh,
enough is my babies number 1 when my daughter was first born, I had 17 people in the room.
oh, good
Yeah,
Lord.
17 people
That was a
in the
party.
room with me, including a photographer. Like I had a photographer there who took photos and everything like that. So I definitely have wonderful support and help and encouragement to know that this is exactly what my body was made to do. And so
Hmm.
I just got to get past the hump of what it's doing, and then I get a baby out of it. So it's so worth it.
Aw. Oh my gosh. So you're one of 8. You have
Hmm.
7. Are your all of your other siblings? Do they have high numbers of children as well?
I have the majority of them. No, it's like 4, 3, 3, 1, 2, 4, and the baby of the family just had a baby 6 days ago.
Oh
And
wow. So
so
where do you guys get
I
together for
want to
family
say
gatherings?
my mom now has 27 grandchildren. So it's 8 kids, 27 grandkids at my mom's house. So, my mom had to, she moved into her family home that she grew up in, but she had to add an addition for her family. So she made a 450 square foot living room in
Oh
her
my
house
gosh.
because she said, I
That's
need to
awesome.
have enough space for my family. So we have Thanksgiving and Christmas always at my mom's house because her living room can fit all of us in at once.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Because that's the first I'm like, where do you have the space to put all these people?
In the
That's
living
cool
room
though. It's got to be like just chaotic, wild fun, I would imagine.
all the time. All the
Yeah.
time. It's I can't even call it organized chaos because it's just mostly chaos, but it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and then going back to, my 15 questions just from your first statement. So I know you love to travel. And I know that there's been a lot of times when you've traveled on your own, where you were
Hmm.
doing events and working and stuff like that. So now your husband, he doesn't work inside the home, right? What usually, I guess you have a lot of family to pull on, but who takes care of the kids? How do you manage that? Cause I know a lot of moms are like, I can't get away. I don't have childcare or whatnot.
So yeah, I have a huge village. Back when I used to travel a lot with work and stuff like that and doing events, my sister usually kept the kids during the weekdays, and then my husband would be
Mm.
with them during the weekend. So I've gotten to a point where I have a really amazing friend when I travel. She just comes to my house. She's like, it's easier if I just come to your house. So she will come and just stay with all 7 kids in my home, take care of my
Wow.
animals, take care of my kids. And she's like, have fun. And I leave. And so, yeah, I have people who I've outsourced them to go to like my family's house, or I've had people come to my house. So
Okay.
I know people right now who are like, I can't do that because I don't have someone. And that usually breaks my heart for them. I'm like, I'm so sorry that I'm like, send them to me. That's another thing. I always tell my friends when they want to do something, but they can't because of their kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, send them to my house. I'll take them. Like, I will
Trust
lovingly
me,
watch your kids.
another 1 to 5 is not going to make a difference here.
Not at all. I tell people all the time, send your kids to my house. You want to go on a date night tonight? You deserve it. Send your kids to my house. I will do it.
That's awesome. So let's get into what does your day look like?
Okay, so typically my morning starts at 5:30 in the morning. I get up and get myself together and just want to kind of have my quiet time with the Lord. I always want to start my morning in a devotion, or sometimes I miss my alarm and it's a little chaotic and I only get a quick word of the day with the Lord. So it's
Right.
not always solid time, but I like to get up, have coffee without children. And sometimes that does not happen. They hear my alarm and they're like, oh, mom's up. I'm up too. So let's talk about like just this morning. My daughter turned 4 today. So today I have a
Oh,
4-year-old, one of them.
oh, and you're so
And
sweet to be doing this on her birthday. Thank you.
so we got up. I have 4 kids who are currently in elementary school. So I got up, got all their stuff ready, get them out the door to go to school. And then today we had a Bible study fellowship time, a potluck thing. So today I got up and I made all the food and then we headed to church. Typical day though is I get the kids off to school and then I have 3 at home, 4 in school right now. So the 4 that go to school and then the 3 that wake up and then we just like hang out. We just either stay home. Most of the time, actually, I don't stay home. I love to go see my family. I love my family. So a lot of times we get up and I'm like, hey, you want to go to Kita's house? Or you want to go to Nunu's house? You want to go see Applejack today? We get up a lot and go because as much as I love my home, I also love to be outside of my home. I'm just like social. I love to be around other people. So a day in the life is always different. I don't currently live by any type of schedule of saying like, oh, today I'm strictly doing this. Things change quickly, especially with children, because you can make plans and then kids be like, hey, can we do this? And it's like, you know what? I don't see why not. So let's go do that. So like, it also really depends on my husband's schedule because he does work outside the home and he is a pool project manager for a luxury landscaping company, which right now it's pool season in Maryland. So it is busy right now. So there's been just these past 2 weeks has been like I already have the kids in bed. They've already had dinner, shower, bedtime by the time my husband's coming in for work. So really right now, it really fluctuates of what my day looks like. Some days it's like, yay, it's 7:00 and daddy's home. Most days it's like, no, you're going to bed. Daddy's not home. So it's really different, honestly. My day to day is just about being present with my kids. Like I want to be there. I want to be like, if most of the time my 2 and 4-year-old are just like, mommy, can we watch Bluey or something of that nature? Can we sit and watch a movie? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Let's sit down. And so it's just about being present with my children. As much as you want to do it, it's also one of those things where it's like, oh my goodness, the dishes are piling up. The clothes are piling up. And it's like how I've gotten to a point where I'm just like, you know what? The dishes can wait. The clothes can wait. The mess can wait. My kids are more important than this. But sometimes it can be like you get to a point where you're like, hold on, I can't. I gotta do something. So I really try to remind myself not to stress out about the little things of like the kid's heart and them noticing that I'm present with them is what matters most to me. Like right now, and I'm so amazed. They're all downstairs. With my husband's not here. I was like, here's some snacks.
Yes.
Hang out.
Always snacks.
Here's a movie. Here's some snacks. Hang out. And when mommy's done, I'll take you outside to get in the pool. So when we're finished, I'm going to take them outside and just enjoy time in the pool with them. So, yep.
That's pretty awesome that you have, I guess, well, it's a school day, right? Are your kids still in school?
It is. They're home from school. It's funny.
Okay.
They got home at like 3:40. No, 2:48. They were home at like 2:50. Yeah, the one in elementary school will get home around 2:50. So yeah, so they're home, and I was just like, hey guys, here's your snacks. Mommy's going upstairs to be on a podcast, and my son was like, oh, can we watch it? Can we come watch it? I was like, not right now. I was like,
cute.
When you can watch it, I'll let you know, but not right now.
That's sweet. So what are the age ranges?
So I currently have a 12-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and an 11-month-old.
Ooh, shooky. So with that, I mean, that's pretty broad age range. Do you, obviously when they're younger, it's so hands-on, right? And as they get older, now they're more able to help out and stuff. Do you guys kind of use a system of, okay, you're getting to the point where you're going to be helping out in this way, and how do you figure it out for each kid? Or is it just kind of like a general, this needs to get done and we just kind of figure it out?
It's definitely more like a, hey guys, we kind of expect you to help out. Like we don't make all the methods, you guys can help. So like my 12-year-old, she's the oldest daughter. She is definitely very hands-on and helping with kids. My 11-year-old is like, he always wants to help in like with dishes.
Ooh.
There's like the 8-year-old and 9-year-old, he's almost 8, but the 7-year-old and the 9-year-old, they help with like taking out the trash. So like my husband has just really talked to them about like, hey, these are chores that when you see them that need to be done, just jump in and do it. So they'll recognize,
Mm-hmm.
oh, the dishes need to be put away. Oh, the trash needs to be emptied. So before we even ask, they're at a point where they just know this is a task that's been asked of them to do. So they do it. But
Mm.
yeah. And then
That's
like
impressive.
the 3-year-old and 2-year-old, the 4-year-old, she's 4 now, sorry. The 4-year-old and 2-year-old, they're just kind of like,
Yeah.
ooh, young, wild, and free. The 1-year-old, she's definitely not doing anything, but they
Right.
will, like, if we're like, hey, it's time to clean up these toys, let's go clean up these toys. They understand, like, let's put toys away. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
about working together as a family union. We tell them all the time, like, we got to work together, guys. We got a lot of people in the house. We can't do this all alone. We're doing this together. So it makes it easier to keep the house running and functional when we all work together.
For sure. And then how do you get alone time with each kid? Because I would imagine, every kid wants those special moments where it's not, I'm not part of the herd, but I'm just you and me. Like, how do you guys manage that?
So I typically do the shopping in the house alone. Every now and then we all go together, but usually it's me. And when it is me, I'll take one child with me. And
Oh,
that way
okay.
we can go have shopping time together, and we'll usually go out and grab lunch or an ice cream. Like, I'll ask them, like, hey, what do you want to go do? What do you want to go? Like, do you want to, like, my daughter, she's always like, can we go get sushi? I'm like, all right, we can go get sushi. And then my son's like, can we go get ice cream? So I'm like, yeah, let's go get some ice cream. So I like to either let them go shopping with me when I go shopping, or just like having conversations with them. Like, I'm very good at telling when my kids have had a bad day, because
Mm,
their demeanor is just not their normal self. They're just like grumpy and frustrated. And I'm like, whoa, 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 this is not us. This is not how we operate in our house. What happened today? So I'm very big on like taking time each day to talk to my kids to find out how their day went, because a lot of times something can happen to them that really stirs up an emotion in them that makes them angry, and I want to get past that to get the anger out of our house, because I'm too fun and bubbly to have anger in my house.
I know. I just, this is a good point where I just have to point out to everyone who's watching. Right now, Tiffani has one color of hair that you can see. I mean, there's actually a couple colors in, but typically this girl has rainbows going on, and I love it. And it's just so indicative of your personality, because it's just like bubblegum fun in your hair. It's just one more manifestation of how you show up in life.
I mean, I
There you go.
love colorful hair. Like, I just feel like it's one of my big personality traits, is just like having fun, bubbly, exciting hair. But when this is down, so when I first did it, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to change it. I'm not sure what to do. And then I saw my friends, and they were like, oh, I love this color. They were like, it's like unicorn. Like, it's like like when you picture a unicorn, it's like unicorn
Yes.
hair. So they're like, please
Oh,
keep it. And I was like, oh, I was ready to dye it. And they're like, no, keep it. So yeah, right now this is just where we're at with my color. I like it, but at the same time, I'm like, it feels too one color for me. I
yeah.
need more.
So then how do obviously you said right now that it's a really busy time for your husband where he's
hmm
working and he's out all the time, but how do you guys recharge with just each other with so much going on?
So we make it a point to just talk, to have conversation. One thing about his job is that he is in the car a lot. Like, some of his job sites are like an hour to 2 hours away from each other. It's all
Hmm.
over Maryland and Virginia. So a lot of times we get on the phone when he's traveling to and from a job site. We just talk. We'll get on the phone and just have conversation while I'm at the house and he's driving. So we still have a lot of time just talking. But we like to incorporate date nights every now and then. We actually went out. The last time we went out was on Cinco de Mayo. So it was still this month. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
got out
Yep. A
this
couple
month
weeks
and
ago.
went out. Yeah. We got out and for Cinco de Mayo. And we have friends that are like, hey, you need a date night. Let us watch your kids. So we
Oh,
just really take time to connect and talk and pray for one another. That's one of our biggest things is like, if he's having a hard time or at work, or I'm just having a hard time and not stressed. I do not allow stress in my life. If I'm just irritated with things, he is like, hey, let me pray for you real quick. Or he'll call me and be like, hey, I'm really having an issue right now. Can you pray for me real quick? So we really just, one of our really intimate things is praying for one another. It's such a beautiful thing. And clearly we like each other a lot. We have 7 kids.
Right. Well, I mean, something's got to be happening. Lots of trying and trying.
Yeah.
I love that you mentioned that praying for each other is an intimate thing between you two. That's something I hadn't really thought of in that way, but that just makes it special. And it's true because you ask people that you trust and and when you need prayer, those are the people that you go to. So yeah, that's a really cool point.
It is.
So when you guys first got together, I'm sure you had to have told him at that point, like, hey, I want 15. What was that conversation like? Or was he just totally like, I want a bunch of kids? And you're like, I do too. And how did that happen?
It was kind of more so like that. One thing is about me is like, anytime someone would ask me when I was a child growing up, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, a mom. I want to be a mom. And I was like, and they're like, you want to be a mom? How many kids do you want? And I was like, 15. So I already had like that mindset of having 15 kids in my head before I even like met my husband. That was like a serious thing that I would always say, I want 15 kids. And so when we started dating, like I told him like, hey, I want to have a large family. I come from a large family. I want a large family. And for him, he came from a very small family with only 2 older sisters in the house. And he was the baby and always wanted a big family. So he was like, I want a big family. And it's funny because now we do have 7 and we have a 14-seater vehicle. So now I joke. Yeah, I like joking. I'm like, well, I guess we can have 12 because we got to still fit in the car.
Yeah.
And he usually comes in and says, he's like, nah. He's like, if we have 15, we'll just buy a bus. So
wow.
We are very
so he's open to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're always saying, if God blesses us with a child, he's going to bless us with the means to take care of the child. And it's been true and faithful since day one, first baby. Like, God has really provided and taken care of all of our needs with each child that we've had. So it's never a stressor. It's never like, oh my gosh, we're pregnant. What are we going to do? How are we going to make ends meet? We're always like, God's used us to have this kid, but this kid doesn't actually belong to us. He's God's. This child belongs to the Lord. What God wants to do with this baby's life, this child's life, is in God's hands. So we're not going to stress about anything. We're going to allow God to take care of it. And he does. That's true and faithful for our life.
Wow. Which brings up a really good point, because I would think, a lot of people are just like, kids are expensive. I have 2 kids and it's expensive. And then you think about all the things that you want to do for them and get for them. And so you said obviously God has a plan and he's provided for you. How has that usually shown up for you guys? Like, are there ever times where it's like, dude, 8 kids, that's a lot of ground beef. And beef is like $6 a pound right now. What?
So I'm trying, let me think of this right. We have put forth making sure we put money aside to make sure we have things planned. Like, hey, this is coming up. We know we need this. So we make sure to be prepared for what's to come. And then Mike, we are this is what's for dinner. You're going to eat it or you're going to go to bed hungry. And I'm a really good cook. So for the most part, my kids really like my food. But it's just, we simplify things. My kids love vegetables. So, and we have our own gardening. So we grow a lot of our own food here on the Jenkins Tribe farm. We always say we grow a lot of fruits and vegetables here. So that's a good help. But yeah, I shop at Aldi's.
Yeah.
Tag for Aldi's. I love Aldi's, but we plan out plans of like, this is what this meal's going to be. This is what we have allocated to spend right now towards groceries. So what's the best bang for our buck? And then we go and talk to the kids like, hey, we were thinking about doing this week. What do you guys like? Are you guys going to eat this? Do you guys want this? Like, And they're like, yeah, that's great. And then we also very limit like going out, like fast food places. We don't do that much. But we will every now and then. Like our big thing is we go to Friendlies. We love Friendlies. Like,
What's
you know,
Friendlies?
Friendlies is it's an ice cream restaurant. It's like a restaurant that serves ice cream. Like their big thing is ice cream.
Okay.
Um,
I like
so
Friendlies now too. I'm
yeah,
in.
like they're like they're a staple of like being an ice cream restaurant. Like they have like food, but their main thing is ice cream. And like their kids meal comes with food, drink, and a sundae for one little like $6.99 a kid. So we're like, this is what we're gonna do this day. And we also hang out with a lot of friends who we like come together and we're like, hey, we're gonna hang out today and like, spend like you bring this, I'll bring this, and we're just gonna like hang out and let the kids play. So it's just all about we get what we need. We don't overtake anything. We plan ahead and we get what we need. That's how we do all this. And I would say my kids are happy. I would say if I asked my kids like, hey, are you happy? They would say yes. Like sometimes they're like, we have so many kids. And I'm like, well, we do. But my daughter, who's always telling me, we have so many kids. Every time she writes out the name list, she's always like, new baby, new baby. I'm like, we're not. She's like, she's at the point where she's like, can you just have 10 kids? She's like, I want you to have 10. And I'm like, we're almost there. So like sometimes I'm like, am I doing a disservice to my children having this many? But then I see how much they love each other and hang out with another and they constantly are asking me to have another baby. I'm like, this is a good thing. Lots of big families are a good thing because it's good to have someone to fall back on when friends are few and far to find. Like you don't always have a great friend throughout all seasons of life. But when you have a sibling, you have everything you need, you know?
Well, and it's what they know. It's what they know. So to them, that's life and that's how we do it. So yeah, that's cool. Do you guys, speaking of names, how do you come up with your names?
So my girls' names are very unique. They're all 5 letters and they're 2 syllables and they're what's the word of it? They're virtues. Like my daughter is joyous. It's like a joyous occasion, but I spell it Joius.
Okay.
So we have for our girls, we have a joyous grace, a truly love, an honor rose, and a glory gale.
Oh, that's cute.
And so we always are like, I'm very big on like 5 letters. So I'm like, I'm really hoping the next one's a boy because it'll be way easier to name. And then for William, my son William, it's a mixture. Steven's middle name is William, and Joseph is my father's middle name. So for William Joseph, we went with that. Okay. And then with Ryan Christopher, that was supposed to be my name because my parents didn't find out if I was a boy or a girl while they were pregnant, and they thought I was a boy. So I was supposed to be Ryan Christopher. So when we had baby boy number 2, the 3rd child, I was like, I'm going to name him after me. So we named him Ryan Christopher. And then we have Benjamin Isaiah, which my sister was like, please name him Benjamin Franklin. And I was like, no. So we came out with Benjamin Isaiah. And then we already know if we have another boy, we're going to name him Jeremiah. We're not set on a middle name yet, but we do know his name will be Jeremiah. If we have another girl,
you're gonna have to start doing some thinking.
Yeah, definitely like 10 to 5 letters, names.
Right? I feel like it's a word game. Like, okay, here's the challenge.
It really is. Like my baby sister is the one who chose honors name. Like I was so stuck on what am I going to name her? And my sister, I knew I wanted the middle name Rose. I was like, what am I going to name her? And my sister one day was like, what about honor? And I was like, that's unique. And I was like, and I've only ever heard it on the show Gilmore Girls. And she was like, yeah, that's where I got it from. I watched Gilmore Girls the other day. She was like, a Logan Huntsberger's sister was Honor. And I was like, I'm going to use that. And so that's where her name came from, a TV show.
Hey, you know what? It works. It works. Yeah. So, okay. So I want to wrap this up with 2 things. What are probably the most challenging parts of your day? on kind of a day-to-day basis, if like overall, what is the most challenging thing for you? And then on the flip side, what is the best part of the day for you?
So I think the most challenging part is when the children are bickering and fighting, like, because there is a lot of them, and being so close in age, a lot of times they'll like little things and like, oh, he breathed on me too hard. And when they
Yes.
start fighting, I am like, I don't want to lose it right now, but y'all are about to make me lose it. I'm like, please stop. So like that can be the most stressful thing, is like when the kids are fighting and it's been a long day and my husband's not home and I'm doing everything by myself. And I'm just like, you guys are making this so hard, and it doesn't have to be, but you won't stop. And it's like, once I tell my kids to stop and they don't stop, that's when my whistle kind of pops. And it's just like, now I kind of have to become unhinged. And I don't want to become unhinged, but sometimes it's just like, I really have to like, to get them to be like, oh, mom's mad. She's really, so I think it's mostly like, or another thing that'll really upset me is if the living room is a wreck. Like toys are pulled out, things are everywhere, and my kids are just sitting down chilling and just like watching.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it infuriates me that you guys are comfortable sitting like this. Like, turn everything off. That's my big thing. I'm like, turn everything off right now. We're cleaning up. I'm really big on like, we call it detox day, where I'm like, detox day, turn everything off, all the screens. So like, one thing that'll really unhinge me quickly is if they're just like hanging out in filth. I'm like, why? I'm like, this is who I raised you to be. Like, it really, I think more so it hurts me. So that's one thing that I'm like, oh God, why is this okay with you? Like, that you should never feel comfortable. You should always want a clean environment to sit in. So I think that's one of the things that most unhinged me. But then on the flip side, one of the things I just absolutely love is just the heart of my children that currently love Jesus. Like, they get it at such a young age. And when they just come up to me and they're just willing and open to have a conversation about God, I love it. And when they're just like, Mommy, I love you. I'm like, I love me too. You know? So, like, great, I love you. But it's joyful, like, motherhood is one of the most amazing hoods I ever walked through. It's just been great. There's moments of like total unhingedness, like where I'm like unhinged. But one thing I never allow is stress. That's one, like, I am determined to say I will not let anything stress me out, because stress kills. So I tell Steven all the time, I'm like, don't stress out. Stress kills. Give it to God. Let it go. That's my thing. I'm like, nope, I gave it to God. I threw it in the trash. Like, I'm not holding on to this. Here you go, God. You can have it. I'm not going to take it back from you. God's got it, not me. I'm good. And so I live a very like life. Most people that know me are like, you're one of the most chillest people I know. And I'm like, yeah, like, what's there to stress about? So yeah, that's me.
And you have 7 kids. Okay. Last question.
Go ahead.
How often do you have to go through the whole names list before you actually say the right name to the kid you're
Oh my gosh.
Because I have 2 and I mess up all the time. Like, Zaya's always like, why do you always call me Ezra? So they picked up this habit. Zaya will be like, Mommy, Zaya wants this. Me, Zaya. Like, I know who you are, baby.
So it's so funny because my 2-year-old has now learned, she's like, I'm Honor. So like when I'm like running through the names and I'm like, Truly, Glory, she's like, I'm Honor. So now I'm just like, you know who I'm talking to. I can't, like, it's one of those things where I have so many names and I'm like, whoa. But yeah, so that happens all the time, actually. They're like, what's my name? They're like, my kids are really good at being like, I'm Ryan, especially if I call Ryan Ben. Ryan's like, I'm Ryan. And I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, one thing I am really good at is apologizing to my children when I've done something wrong. And even calling them outside of who their name is. I'm like, I'm sorry. You're right. You were that child. But do as I say.
Yes. Just know, Mommy's got a lot going on up here.
There is a lot going on, especially when there's so many to just rein in and keep together and all the things.
Oh yeah, definitely. Love it. Okay, thanks. I'm glad. I mean, I was gonna be like, man, if she can keep it together, I really got to work on this whole names thing.
No, man. None of us, let's be honest, none of us have it all together. We're just
Right.
all here walking the earth, trying to do the best we can. And so from
Yes.
one mom to another, just keep doing a good job. And one
Oh
thing I would
yeah.
love to say is like, love yourself. The best thing you can do for your child is to love yourself. Make sure your kids see you happy and loving yourself, because that's the way the kids know like how well they're loved because of how well I love myself. So
Mm,
my like one like thing would be just like take care of you. Love you.
hmm So important, man. That's okay. That just like went on the billboard. Um, I
Yeah,
love that.
that's one thing that's like another thing about me is like I love to take care of myself and as like have time away. So like this Thursday, Mother's Day just recently passed, and I told my husband, I was like, listen, I don't want you to buy me anything on Mother's Day, but I want you to work from home on the 23rd. So on the 23rd, he's working from home, and me and a group of friends from church are going to just go to brunch and just walk around and go shopping and just enjoy a day out with no children. And
hmm
so I am like, just find little things that you can do to not stress and to just love yourself. So that's what
hmm
I'm doing this Thursday. I'm going to have a good time without my kids. And that's another thing. It is okay of parents to go out and have fun without your children.
100%. Yes.
I
Yeah.
think
Doesn't.
I will honestly say I think that's why I can do what I do. I can have the I have 7 kids, but I'm not like stressed out or flipping out or wow, like or like like blah. I'm not like blah
Yeah.
because my husband does when he is home, he is home, and he is
Mm,
like go get in the bath, go buy a cup of coffee, go sit with a friend, go do whatever you want. I got this. And so like
mm,
on the weekends, he's like, go meet with a friend, go have coffee, go to dinner. And so I'm always allowed to leave my house without my children. There is
mhm,
never oh, well, even though I'm home, take them all too. Even like,
mhm.
there's a lot of things we do together, but there's a lot of things that I get to do by myself, which is so great. Like, it's so great to just have a moment to yourself. And my husband always makes sure I get that when he is home.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're 100% true, because otherwise you're just giving, 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 giving,
Yeah.
and yeah, then you're parenting out of being a shell, and no one wants that. Where's the joy in that? So,
Yeah.
and then your hair would not be fun and colorful. It would just be drab and dreary.
I know. Yeah, I'm all
Right.
about working from a full cup, but I don't rely on my husband or my children or anyone else to fill my cup, because like my cup is filled from me, and I always remember it's self-esteem. Like I literally have a mirror set up right here that I keep looking at and being like, "You're so pretty," So it's about me filling my cup, and then making sure I don't allow my kids to feel like they're taking from me, that I'm
Mm.
giving from just from overflow. Not my cup is
Mhm.
always filled because of the Lord. One other thing is I don't do this alone. Like I'm like,
Mhm.
God, I'm a wreck. I know that in my heart, without you, I am a jerk and I can be very mean. So God, fill me to overflow to love people the way you love people. And so God has really helped me. Sometimes
Mm.
way more than other times, because sometimes
Mhm.
the jerk flips out and I'm like, I'm sorry. I really did mean to say that. So it's just, realizing that we don't have it all together, but thankfully for me and my household, we follow a God who has it all together. So we can be falling apart because he picks up the pieces for us.
I love it. Oh, so I have a joke for you. And
Oh,
I think it's It's good because you're looking for a name, although it's not 5 letters and it's not 2 syllables. What did the lawyer name her daughter?
What?
Sue. I have to end it with a joke.
I love you, Mitch. You're so beautiful and awesome. And I love your jokes. I do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I got it off the internet. I don't think I've ever made up a joke myself. My husband, Andrew did. Andrew did one time. This was cute. Let me share this with you. How does a train drink and eat?
Ooh, I don't know. How does a train drink and eat?
Chugga chugga choo choo. Chugga chugga choo choo.
Oh,
That's a good one, right?
I'm going to share that one with my kids. Every time I try to do it, they're like, Mom, you're not funny. I'm going to try that one.
There you go. They'll like that one. Oh, yeah. I'm full of them. But yeah, he made that one up. I was like, that's really good. So our girls, they repeat it everywhere too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tiffani, thank you so much for just opening it up, sharing your effervescent, bubbly spirit and being contagious in that way like you always are. And actually, thank you for just being an example out in this world, out in the mom land, that just because you have a lot going on doesn't mean it has to leave you feeling empty and used up, and that you can do it from a place of joy, and that you can do it, with flying colors and making it a life that's worth living. So thank you for being that example and for sharing that, because I know so many moms where they just, with not 7 kids, that just feel they come from a place of emptiness. And so having you as an example is just one step closer to someone saying, oh, okay, I can get there too. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was such a great time. I love you, Mitch. I hope you have a great day.
Oh, likewise. So I know, I can't wait for your kids to watch it. They're going to love it. They're going to love it.
So excited. Yeah, they're going to love it.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know how that goes for sure.
I sure will.
But good. All right. So with that, woo, man, if you thought you had a lot going on, like I said, I think Tiffani she just really showed you that there is a way that you can just approach life differently, where you don't have to come from that space of being used up. And no matter what you've got going on, it's about making time, not finding time. That's been such a theme lately. Our pastor, well, it wasn't our pastor, it was one of our elders at our church actually just said that. And literally it's just been coming up so much. So hopefully you found some tips and tricks out of this, or were able to relate in some ways, and share this with another mom friend. You guys can get together and pick out, hey, maybe we can try this instead. Or, oh, wow, she's got the same thing going on that we do. And I just appreciate you for being here. As always, share, like, comment, definitely comment. I want to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And then in the meanwhile, I will look forward to seeing you next week. Make it fun, make it rich. Bye-bye.